in today's world is what we are going to be sharing today. Let me quickly share this link because the pre-scheduled did not work. So maybe starting all over again. Woo! Okay, so yes, finally, we are live. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. Okay, so today it's all about 7 skills that will help a child thrive in today's world. You agree with me that I've said this over and over again that it is tougher than it used to be. You know, Priscilla Ojo, Iyabo Ojo, trending. And one of the things that happened was I watched her interview where she talked about how she got married and how the marriage wasn't going the way she wanted, she planned. Then she just had to focus on her life. She had to take her children, she had to move, she had to focus on her life, you know. And I also remember a couple of days ago, someone shared a video with me of a boy. I shared it in my post this morning. 100 level student in Ghana, Nigeria student, because he walked into his girlfriend and another guy, the next thing he thought of was ending his life. Are you kidding me? Our children need skills to thrive in the times they are. Things will always happen. Life is not always as it is planned. They need skills to thrive. We've been talking about understanding our children in the Visionary Parents Academy. We've understood their temperaments, their triggers, their emotions, everything about them. Now, understanding your child, no matter how your child is, no matter who your child is, no matter your child's personality, one thing is certain. There are certain skills that your child will need to thrive. Now, the thing is, some children kind of has the capacity to learn these skills very fast and very quickly. This is as a result of how they are wired. Some children, they naturally don't have the skills, so they struggle a great deal with them. So as a parent, you need to identify these skills and you need to create a structure in your home to nurture them, and you need to be super patient while you are nurturing them, because whether your children have these skills or not, life will test them. These skills will be required. Resilience is one of such skills. It will be required. Life will test them. And I always say that very many times it is not really about what happens to us. However, it is more about how we respond to life. Things will always happen. So how are prepared are our kids to be able to not be defined by the things that happen, but take the things that happen as part of their journey? Because at the end of the day, everything comes together, everything works together for your good. So I said to my children in church, everything can work together for your good, everything can equally work together for your doom. Now, it all depends on you. So what is it going to be? Our children need the skills to make everything work together for their good. Because the truth of the matter is, life would always be life. Life will always happen. Life is messy, is cruel, is unpredictable. Yes, no matter how much you planned. A parent in the Visionary Parents Academy the other day yesterday was sharing with me one of her plans, her proposals and all of that. And I told her, when you are sending these proposals, please have it in mind that you are going to send it to 100 people. And out of that 100 people you are going to send it to, maybe only 1 or 2 marketing experts, business experts say is 1% of your population. You expect only 1%. So if you are sending it to 100 people, it is one person you are expecting. Is one person. Your expectation should be one person. That is, if you can send it to 100 people. No one says it's not going to be more than that. You may be lucky, it may be more than that, but it is how life works. You put in so much effort. Imagine using resources to create a proposal, write a proposal, printing all of that, using her petrol to drive all around, and at the end of the day, one person out of 100 people. That is life. Is she going to give up if it's something she's passionate about? That is what we are talking about. At the end of the day, if she gives up, maybe she'll have to go and look for something else and start all over again. But if she doesn't give up, then it becomes part of her story. Like, I remember when I was starting, I sent proposal here and there, and I got rejected several times, but because of the passion, because of the drive, because of the drive to impact, I kept at it. It's always part of the story. just like Iyabo Ojo's was part of the story. Now she's talking about it, how her children were her strength. Her children made her fight. Part of the story. Some people would have said, oh, their children made them stay back in the marriage that was not using anything, that wasn't leading them to where they wanted. She wanted it to lead them to. Because of her children, she stayed, she became miserable, she made nothing out of her life because of her children. Now she said the same children that some people take as excuses to live, should I use the word a meaningless life, if that's the right word? The same as children some people use as excuses is the same children she is using to say they were her strength. She had to move to fight for them. So what am I trying to say? Many times it's not what happens, it's actually how we make what we can do out of it. And guess what? The skills your children have, the skills your child has will greatly determine what your child will make out of whatever life throws at him or her. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Enemy Orebo, and this is Parenting with Enemy Orebo, powered by the Visionary Parent Academy. The Visionary Parent Academy is an academy where parents get empowered, they get skilled up to raise the children. This is one of the things we do. We empower our children. We learn how to empower our children with the skills they need to thrive. All through this month of April, it has been understanding our children. We needed to understand them so that we can be able to parent them without comparing them, without labeling them, without breaking them. When we understand our children, we also understand ourselves and better be able to raise the children we have. Now, this is what we've been doing, and we've had 4 classes. We have 4 classes so far. You can go and check the 4 classes. And today we are saying that despite our children's personalities, their temperament and everything, there are skills they need to thrive, and it is what we are talking about today, the skills they need to thrive. Now, the Visionary Parent Academy is closed for 2025, yes, but we are open for 2026 rather. So if you'd like to join us in the academy, it's a super vibrant academy. We are not very large, but we are vibrant, and it is very, very, very impactful. I guarantee you. Leave a message and you will learn how you can join us. So let's go right into what we have today. We'll come here every Wednesdays actually, and it is usually 12 o'clock. However, today I had a bit of a struggle. I had a lot of struggle, like from 12 o'clock, from a few minutes past 12 till a few minutes past 1. I was struggling to set up, Okay, that is the story of resilience. So let's go. The life ready child. The power skills every child must learn to thrive in the day and time we are. The first one is resilience. I just decided to make this first. I'm not putting them in any specific order. No, I just want to take them randomly as the Spirit leads. The first one is resilience. Ability to bounce back when life throws things at you, when life is messy, when life is cruel, when life is ability to stay strong and keep going. Resilience for every single parent. I think there's a full video on resilience in this channel. Go and check. We need to raise children who are resilient. Things must happen. Children who are tough skins. No matter who you are, no matter who your child is, life will go the way it is not planned. It is not a matter of God forbid. It happens a great deal. You know why? Because your child is not alone. Your child does not live in a bubble. Your child will mix with this. Imagine the other boy. What happened? He walked in on his girlfriend. Someone he probably had invested in so much. He walked in on them, and so he was so broken that he went to take his life. Sometimes our children, even us, we make choices that make life happen to us the way we did not plan. Look at Iyabo Ojo. She said she got admission to studying law in Unilag, and that was about the same time she got pregnant and she had to get married. They call it shotgun wedding. That was about the same time. So that was a consequence of her action. Sometimes it's not even your children's doing. Life just happens on its own. So what is it going to be? They need resilience, ability to bounce back, ability not to crush under the weight of life, about ability to keep going. Now, here is how you can nurture resilience in your children, because now these skills we are talking about, they are not the skills that, oh, when you get to the bridge, you cross it. Nah. They are the skills we need to start nurturing in our children from small, so that they are so grounded in them that by the time life happens, they are not seeing it as life happening. They are not seeing it as weight of life. They are seeing it as part of the journey of life. So they are not seeing it as a dead end, like, oh, I've reached the end. Rather, they are seeing it as part of the journey. Lessons I need to make, lessons I need to learn in the journey of life. We all know the story of Thomas Edison, how he tried to make the light bulb 1,000 times, and it was the 1,000th time he got it. And when he was interviewed, like, why didn't you quit? He said each time was a lesson for him. Each time was a lesson that says, oh no, don't do it this way. This is not how you should do it. And so in doing that, in learning, he took his lessons, and now he has known, I tried 1,000 times, and in that 1,000 times, I knew 999 ways of not doing it, and only one way to do it. Lesson. Life journey is a lesson. It is a lesson. So our children must learn. One of the things is constantly teach them that every experience is a lesson. No matter how good, no matter how bad, every experience is a lesson. In church one time, the teenagers were talking about we had a topic, we were talking about teens dialogue session, and somebody said, oh, okay, it was forgiveness, and the one of the students said the teacher flogged her. They had a group work, so the teacher flogged her because even though she pulled her weight, did her best, her team members didn't pull their weights. They were loafing. So at the end of the day, their task was not, they don't meet standard, and the teacher had to flog all of them, and she felt really very bad, because why would you flog me when I actually did my best? And I told her, you see, even in that, it's still a lesson for you. What lesson do you learn? You are going to learn the lesson that next time you have a project, you are not going to work with those particular people. And then next time, you also know that when you grow up, when you need to collaborate, you are going to remember those people, how they loved. You are going to remember traits about them. And when it's time to collaborate, you are now going to apply what you know. No, I want to collaborate. I want to succeed at this project. So I just don't want to have people who are my friends. I don't want to have people who, they are so mouthy. All they do is talk. Meanwhile, they promise they can deliver, they cannot deliver. No, you are going to now look at the people that actually deliver, that worked with you, that made you, you were able to record success. You are going to look at traits in them, noting down, and next time you need to collaborate, those are the traits you are going to look at for in people. I told her, that is your lesson. That is your win. So to raise resilience, to nurture resilience in our children, we must learn, firstly, to begin to teach them that life, every single part of life, every single journey is a lesson. Whether they are happy about the situation, they're not happy about the situation, it's a lesson. Situations don't define them. How they handle the situation is what will define them. And if you are raising resilient children, don't rush to fix issues for them. Don't hover around them, fixing every issue they have. You want to share stories, people that have gone through a lot, their setback, their challenges. We have a lot of people. In Nigeria, we have the people like, what's his name again? What's her name? Folarosho Alakija. Oh, yes. Folarosho Alakija is there. We have Cosmo Maduka is there. We have, what's this man's name? Adenuga. Adenuga is there. We have a lot of them you can share. You want to go abroad? You have Thomas Edison. We have Harlan Sanders, something like that. We have a lot of stories you can share. These are real human beings, real humans your children can learn from. Normalize failures. I've talked about that. That's the first thing I said. Normalize failures. Do not hover around your child. Do not save them from failing. We keep doing this. We are always micromanaging our children. We don't let them lead themselves. Micromanaging them because you don't want them to fail. You know, let your child do what they can do. It is called age appropriate for a reason. Let them take age-appropriate decisions. Let them take age-appropriate chores up. Leave them. Let them be. Don't hover around them. Don't prevent them from failing. Now, each time you keep doing for your child what your child can do for himself, the truth of the matter is your fear, the reason you are doing that is you fear your child will fail. You don't want your child to fail. And I also always say to parents, we always say one thing that, and we tell our children that mistakes should build you. Mistakes should build you. You learn from your mistakes. Mistakes are a part of life. I can say almost every parent says that to their child. Mistakes are a part of life. But you don't let them make mistakes. So how are you proving to them that mistakes are a part of life? It is when you let them make mistakes, they learn from their mistakes, and they actually realize that they are not sitting in one place. They're actually realizing that, okay, they've made mistakes, they are still able to move on. That is when they learn that mistakes are a part of life. A lot of the things we teach our children, they are not just verbal teaching, they are practical. When you teach your child should be able to learn it, hands-on, experience it. Now, it is one of the reasons I keep preaching natural and logical consequences, because they are teaching your children. Encourage self-talk. Positive self-talk. Encourage positive self-talk in your child. And lastly, on resilience, encourage perseverance. Yes, your child is getting something done, and the next thing they give up. No, stretch them. Stretch them. I shared in the Visionary Parent Academy the other day that I shared how I stretch my kids. Stretch them. That is it. Don't let them remain in their comfort zone. They are doing something that you know that is age appropriate, and they are giving up. Why are they giving up? It's simply age appropriate because they can do it. So you don't, if they have issues, then both of you are going to come together and problem solve and have them go back, not you taking it away from them. Yes, it can be tough, but can they? Yes, of course they can. They have the capacity to. So stretch them. Stretching them should be a major part of your parenting, not covering them, but what? Stretch them. That's the first one. Like I said, we have a full class on resilience. So I think I won't talk too much about it because I didn't intend to talk that much about resilience. Okay. Now the next skill every child needs is courage. Courage. Very many times people actually know what to do, but the fear, a lot of fear holds them down. A lot of fear hold them down. Our children need courage. I said to my children, like I shared in the Visionary Parents Academy the other day, I said, courage doesn't mean you are just standing up, you are going to do something. Courage simply means you are afraid, you are not sure, but you are doing the thing. That is courage. When you don't have fear, when you don't have fear at all, then you don't need courage. You are not courageous. Courage is defined. How courageous is defined by how much fear you have in the face of trying, in the face of doing. That is courage. You tell your child, yes, you go to class. Sometimes you don't want to talk in the classroom. You don't want to speak up in the classroom. You feel low, you feel embarrassed. You being able to speak up in the classroom is you being courageous. You have a lot of things you are afraid of. Anything. Now, courage is you. You are afraid. You are still going ahead to do that thing. Anyways, that is courage. Nurture courage in your children. Nurture courage in them. Because a lot of decisions they are going to take. Look at Iyabo Ojo. If she didn't have courage, she wouldn't have been able to walk out. It was not certain what she was going to face out there. According to her dad disowned her dad or something. It wasn't certain. She wasn't certain what she was going to face out there. But what did she do? She stood up, dusted herself, and moved. A lot. Look at success stories. I'm using Iyabo Ojo. I'm not saying she's the perfect role model. I'm not even saying she's a role model. I'm using her because she's trending. Her stories are everywhere. And a lot of people are coming to say, yes, they can relate. They can relate. They can relate. So that is why I'm actually using her. So I'm not saying she's this perfect role model. I'm not looking at her. We are just taking lessons from her courage. courage. If she didn't have courage, she probably would have stayed back. She didn't have courage, she probably would have been giving herself excuses. Because when we have fear, when we have self-doubt, when we lack courage, we always give excuses. And guess what? Our excuses always seem valid. I told someone one time that you may need to work on your self-esteem, because every excuse you give seems valid. But the truth of the matter is, these excuses are not valid. If you have the will, you can actually get things done. So you just don't have that will, which is coming from a place of lack of self-confidence. So courage is one thing we need to nurture in our children. When they have the courage, they can take on anything. They can set goals. They'll be bold enough to set goals, and they'll be bold enough to smash the goals if they have the courage. A lot of us that have a lot of excuses, it is because we do not have courage. So courage is one thing you must nurture in your children. How do you nurture courage? First of all, a friend's act of small bravery. At home, start small at home. What are they afraid of? Dark? Talk to them about courage. They are not, what is that thing that they are super afraid of? Talk to them about courage. Encourage them. Motivate them. If you have to reward them, reward them. If you have to, whatever you have to do, just to make sure they conquer their fears, just to make sure they are able to move from their comfort zone, just to make sure that they realize that, hey, I can actually, my excuses shouldn't hold me down. Just to make sure they know that I have the will. Once I have the will, I'll find a way around it. Whatever you have to do to nurture courage, nurture courage. Let them, expose them to age-appropriate act of bravery. What they are, like I said, what they are afraid of. Encourage them to face it. Share stories of courageous people. Oh, there are people who are supposed to be limited by one reason or another, by one excuse or another, yet they are not limited. They are not limited. That is courage. It takes courage to move from your comfort zone. It takes courage to actually break limitations that life has given to you. It takes courage to break away from the bondage, the cage that life itself caged you. Share stories of people who are courageous, who are making it. You know, there are people that you think that they have no right to be where they are. Let's look at it now. When I say right, I mean they have no, it doesn't really make sense that it doesn't really, like Pastor Nick, the guy that was born without arms and legs. When we talk about the wonders of the world, we should talk about Pastor Nick as one of the wonders of the world. One of the wonders of the world. Like, what courage? Kidding me? Really? Whoa. It is mind-blowing. Really. So when it's not as if I'm not saying right. I mean, they have 1,000,001 excuses to be limited. But you see, they have the courage to say no to the limitations life imposed on them. Nah, I am not defined by life. I am defined by me. So courage is one of the things we must nurture in our children. Without courage, they will not move. Because guess what? There are we have 1,000,001 reasons to remain where we are. We have 1,000,001 excuses that are valid. I tell you, we have excuses that are valid. Yes. And you know that we have excuses that are valid. Yesterday, a visionary parent shared something with me. She's a visionary parent. She's also a parent coach in the UK. She was telling me about a video she watched about a 45-year-old man who was still with his parents. So the parents were upset and they were going to kick him out because 45 years old, he was becoming a liability. All he does is play games and all of that. So they sued him. and so that he can leave the house, and he was countersuing them for suing him. And so we're having a conversation around it, and the man was coming with the man's excuses was that first of all he got a job, he was a pilot or something like that. When there was an issue, he lost his savings, he lost his job. Because of that, he was down, and then he got bird flu. His faces was all over everywhere. People could not hire him. No jobs were ready to hire him because he had bird flu. He was all over. He was popular for having bird flu. So that was why he stayed back in his parents' house. Now he's 45 and his parents want him to leave, and he feels that his parents are being unfair. After all, he's an only child. Exactly what we are talking about. Excuses. When I was 20, I worked. I made some money. Unfortunately, things happened. Life happened, and I lost the money. And then I went out. I got a bird flu. Life happened again. I got bird flu, and life made it worse. My face was all over the whole place, and no company could hire me. Excuses. Valid. But guess what? When he lost that job, I am 100% sure there were people with him who lost the job, who the issue affected, downsizing, whatever it was, affected, and they did not remain in their parents' house. That was a lesson for them. I'm sure there are people who have had bird flu, whose names, faces were all over papers. Yes, they did not remain in their parents' house at 45 playing games. Excuses. I was reading about someone recently who said, was it Money Point? I read about Money Point, the story of Money Point. You know Money Point, this quick money transfer in Nigeria. That the man was working with banks, creating apps and doing all sorts for banks. And Access Bank was one of his major banks, major customers. And one day he was driving to work on Third Mainland Bridge. And Access Bank sent him a message that sent him an email that they were discontinued their contract with him. And that was it. Imagine, on his way to work that morning, he got an email, he read it, he was broken. But guess what? It was that experience with Access Bank that actually helped him start Money Point. Today, Money Point is one of the fastest mobile banks, one of the most effective mobile banks in Nigeria, at least in my community. Even when I was in Lagos, everywhere is Money Points, Money Points, Money Points. We just have about, how many of them are? 3, 4 of them. Money Points, Opay, Pampay, in the entire Nigeria. So what am I trying to say? That is it. Life will happen. Things will happen. What if he had sat back, sulking over his lost contract? Because we have people like that. About a couple, I think last year or so, we read a story about one man. He owns a very big restaurant in Lagos. How he took his own life. According to them, things did not. I don't know what excuse. That is what we are talking about. Life will happen. Sometimes I was teaching children decision making one time, and they said to me, but there are times you make very good decisions. You put all the factors into consideration. You consider a lot of factors, and you think, okay, you have made a good decision. At the end of the day, the decision backfires. What do? It's part of the story. It is what we are saying. Oh, you have taught your children to make good decisions, make responsible decisions, do this, do that. Absolutely. And at the end of the day, even with all the wisdom they have, life happens, because the truth of the matter is they can only control one part of life. That is what they can control. There are so many things they cannot control. And those so many things they cannot control will come and interfere, mix with what they can control. And if those so many things have the upper hand, then what do? Well, just like a child, go to school, study. They go to school, they put in their best, they study. And at the end of the day, they come out first class, second class, upper. And a country like Nigeria, where there are no jobs, they have put in all their efforts. So what do? Do they not sit down? So our children, for them, life will always happen. Oh, yes. Like I said, they need resilience. The next one is they need courage. Yes, I've talked about courage. 3, emotional intelligence. This is supposed to be the first one, but I wanted to talk about resilience super. For people who don't stay to the end of the video, I wanted to talk about resilience first of all, and courage. Emotional intelligence, because our emotions control what we do. Our children need to learn emotional intelligence. It is super important. Emotions control what we do, and guess everything about us. And guess what? Sometimes we react. Our reactions are not always a true reflection of the situation. So when it comes to raising children that thrive, they need to learn how to manage their emotions. They need to learn how to understand situations before they respond. They need to learn how not to respond based on assumption. And the big one I've been teaching children for lately, they need to always evaluate intentions and not to respond based on that is what myopic perception. They need to learn to evaluate intentions. It is super important. I keep using the story of the girl, the Unizik girl. If she has sat down to evaluate the lecturer's intentions, she probably would have realized that the lecturer was just an innocent man going his own, minding his business. Probably the lecturer I don't want to appear in your video, which he has a right. So he meant no harm. He meant no disrespect. He was just going. If you look at the video, the girl was walking back and forth. Hey, don't step on me. That was it. Emotional intelligence. And do you really blame her? Maybe in the school, lecturers are always bullying. Or maybe she even has heard something about that particular lecturer. So that was it. But unfortunately, it was not her battle. Unfortunately, the lecturer was not even in her way. Emotional intelligence is super key. We need to teach our children. It can either make them or break them. Teach them how to be emotionally intelligent. Nurture it. Things will happen. Yes. The way they respond to it is what matters the most. I tell my children, when we did the emotional intelligence in the Visionary Parent Academy, even in the self-led mentorship class, I told them every emotion is a message. Your heart, your mind is sending a message to your body. Every emotion is a message. You envy someone is a message. You are all normal. Message. Your emotions are messages. You are super happy is a message. You are sad, it's a message. You are angry, it is a message. You are disappointed, it is a message. You are embarrassed, it is a message. So the first thing you need to do is to sit back and understand the message that your mind, your heart, the message that you are receiving, your body is receiving. When you understand that message, then what are you going to do with the message? I tell them at the end of the day, you have your goals, you have your vision. So what do you do with the message? It is something that will help you, bring you closer to your goals, your vision. You do with the message. So emotional intelligence, it is super important. Nurture that in your children. Nurture that in your child. The next thing we teach our children is self-leadership. Teach your children, nurture it. It is one, I tell parents that, see, very many of the complaints we have about our children, if our children can lead themselves, you realize that every single thing will be, all your dramas will be gone. If not, it will be greatly minimized, if not completely gone. They should be able to lead themselves. Take initiative. Don't wait for people to lead them. Leading yourself. When a child can lead themselves in small age, they can lead themselves in big age. They can start. They can understand their life. They can set goals for their life. They can have a vision, have a purpose for themselves. It is why we have the Self-Leadership Academy. where we partner with parents to nurture their children, to raise children who can lead themselves. Children need to be able to lead themselves so they can be adults who can lead themselves. And as a parent, one of the ways to raise children who can lead themselves is to, I've talked about assigning age-appropriate chores, giving them responsibilities, giving them opportunities to make mistakes, to learn from their mistakes, not hovering around them, not shielding them, letting them learn from life, the greatest teacher of all. Constantly teaching them what they need to know and giving them opportunities to practice what you have taught them. Experience, they say, is the best teacher. And as a parent, as you are teaching your child, give them the opportunity to experience what you are teaching them so that it can consolidate. Raise self-leaders. Nurture self-leadership in your children. Let them be able to lead themselves. Don't always be on them. What to do, when to do, how to do, where to do. They are not leading themselves. You are leading them. Now, it is why I see parents, you are angry. You expect your child to be able to do X, Y, Z. They are not able to do it. Really? Have you given them opportunity to lead themselves in the past? If you have not allowed them to lead themselves in the past, then don't expect them to be able to do X, Y, Z without you telling them. Because you are constantly hovering about, telling them what to do, how to do, and all of that. So at the end of the day, they will keep relying on you. And when you are not available, what will they do? I tell children that if you don't lead yourself, something will lead you. Because you must be led. You must be led on the path of life. So if you don't lead yourself, something will lead you. Your friends will lead you. Drugs may even lead you. Television may lead you. Gambling will lead you. Addiction will lead you. Issues, bad issues, negative issues that you do not want in your life will lead you. So you need to stand up and lead yourself so that nothing leads you. And for them to stand up to lead themselves, as a parent, you have to give them opportunities to lead themselves. You have to nurture self-leadership. They are practical. It's not just saying you are going to read the book on self-leadership and you tell your child, lead yourself. I said to parents, see, telling your child affirmation, I am confident, does not make your child confident. What makes your child confident? Confidence is built in doing. You know it now. You do something, you get results. Your confidence is flying high. The same thing as your child. Self-leadership is in doing. They are leading themselves by doing. So you allow your child, let them take responsibilities, age-appropriate responsibilities, structure your environment, structure your home, and leave them. I mean, a lot of the times we pressure our children. A lot of the times we are always on their case. If you sit back and look at it, it doesn't make sense. We are always forcing our children. We want to make decisions for them. Decisions you can actually collaboratively take together. You want to make it. I have said it, and it is final. Now, you are leading them. They will not be able to grow into children that will lead themselves. Leave them. As long as it is not an emergency, as long as their life does not depend on it, as long as no life is getting hurt, leave them. Let them lead themselves. Let them face the consequences of their actions. And then what you do, be there to empathize. Be there to empathize with them, to welcome them. That is how you even win your child's trust. I have told you, don't do this. If you do this, that will happen. You have told your child, no, they want to experiment. Okay. They go, they experiment, they come back. What do? The prodigal son, welcome. Oh, so sorry, it happened. There is nothing like I told you so. Sorry about it. What lesson did you learn from it? We talk about it. Next time, when you tell them something, they are going to trust you. The last time mommy said I shouldn't do this, I went to do it. And at the end of the day, it didn't come out like. They learn from it. It's not every time you are breathing down their neck. You are forcing them. Leave them. Let them lead themselves. This is powerful. I am not defined by life. I am defined by me. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much, Ma, for the rephrasing it. For rephrasing it. Yes, we are not defined by life. Truly, we are defined by us. We determine what happened to us. Life will happen. We cannot stop life from happening. It is a simple truth. We cannot stop life from happening. But hey, what we can stop life is deciding the course of life, deciding how our life turns out. Things happen every day. Disappointment happens every day. Setback happens every day. Struggles happen every single day. Betrayals happen every single day. They just happen. So what do? We are not going to sit back and be sulking. No. That's what we are teaching our children. Don't sit back and sulk. Take every situation as on Sunday in church, we're looking at, I don't know what topic were we looking at. Okay, I don't remember precisely. So the children were talking about, many of them said they wanted to be footballers. It was my senior teacher that was teaching them. At that point, I had to come in because I know very many children. In fact, if you interview boys, if you interview 100 boys, of the 100 boys, you can be sure that 20, 25 want to be footballers. So even up to 30, the remaining 60 or 70 will spread across different careers. So I always like to tell them something, that you want to be a footballer. It's a fantastic idea. However, you want to know that it's not everyone that sets out to be a footballer that ends up being a footballer. I have two people that used to be close to me. When I was in Lagos, I had a bus, this commercial bus. So there was one man that used to drive. When we bought the bus, we gave the bus to the man. It was hire purchase, balance us. And the man was like, he had beautiful dreams and all of that. Eventually, he said he couldn't drive far. And he gave us a story that he used to play for a German football club, and he got an accident. He had an accident while playing, and that was how his career ended. So he had to come back to Nigeria to look for something to do. His accident took a long time to treat. After the treatment, he couldn't really exert himself much. Luckily for him, he was a good husband, and so now his wife is the one that is kind of taking care of the family. So he felt he needed to do something to support. He can drive bus very well. That was how he came recommended, and we got the bus for him. Unfortunately, he still couldn't perform because, according to him, if he uses the leg for too long, he begins to have issues. So I was trying to let them know that, I remember the other time I watched a video of a girl who took the brother to the court. What happened, according to her, the brother is always she was building a house or something like that. The brother was squandering the money. By the time she got back to see the house, the brother squandered the money, didn't even do anything. And according to them, the brother is a footballer. He's wanting to, according to her, she's tried to establish his brother several times. He refused to be established. He's playing football. He's getting old, over 30. He's still playing football. He's stuck on the football thing, and he's not making anything with his life. So I was telling them about what they can do. You love to play football, fantastic. Look at opportunities in football. Nobody prays that bad thing will happen. No, God forbid bad thing is not your portion. But what if it happens? That was my message. What if it happens? I watched a video one time. The boy said he now washes goats. He was a footballer. Life happened to him. He now washes goats. You know that he buys goats to sell. He works in abattoir. So when people buy goats, people that sell goats buy goats. He gets the goats from them. He helps them wash the goats, and they pay him peanuts. Life happens to him. So I was telling them that life can happen. When life happens, because if you are so focused, obsessed about football, what happens if life happens? I wasn't telling them life was going to happen. I was just asking them, what if life happens? What are you going to do? That is it. Are you going to start blaming the witches from your father's house? The witches from your mother's house? Village people? Are you going to let depression set in? What happens? So this is what we are talking about. Life will always happen. Sometimes it's not because you did not prepare. No. You prepared. You are doing your best and everything. but life happens because life is designed to happen. So what are you going to do when life happens? What will your child do when life happens? So the next one I have here is, this one is super important to me. The fifth skill we must teach our children. It is super important to me. We must nurture teachability in our children. Teachability. I think this should have been number one. Teachability. We must raise children who are teachable. Children who have the growth mindset. Children who don't know it all. Children who are not comfortable where they are. Children who are not complacent. Children who are teachable. Who have the teachable spirit. Who are curious. Who are willing, ready to learn. Who are teachable. When you are not teachable, you will not move. You will always, the funny thing about how life is designed, when you have your fixed mindset, you are fixed in your knowledge, you are fixed in your mind. Guess what? It is super valid. All your arguments, you will win. They will make a whole lot of sense to you. Now, there is a level you will reach in life as a human being. They say when a fish is dried, you can't bend it. It will break, like practically. Get fish, and when it's fresh, you see that they bend it over, they put something, and you can use it to cook ogbono soup. Yummy. That's smoked fish. So when they bend it over and they smoke it, but remove it, leave it dry, you can't bend it over. There is an extent in life that people will grow to. They'll be so fixed that it takes even therapy. A friend of mine was telling me, this particular person, therapy will not work. Even therapy will not work for them. Counseling will not work for them. It will not work because they have so grown in their fixed mind that they are not growing. So if they are open-minded, anytime anybody is open-minded, you can still get help. You can still get any help you want to get. But our children must be teachable. When they are teachable, they'll be ready to learn. They'll be open-minded. Open-mindedness is one of the values in my family. If you are looking about how to create a value for your value around what I'm teaching, we have a video in this channel on how to nurture practical ways to have your children uphold your value. We have a video here. I think I should begin to link some of my videos here. Maybe that's what I'll do. I don't know how to link videos. That's why I don't link. I'll look for a way to start linking the videos. I think I should be doing that. Really. Children must be teachable. You know why? Because life is evolving. Time is evolving. I mean, when we were growing up, I was telling children in church on Sunday that when we were growing up, life taught us. Our parents didn't have to teach us a great deal because life was already there. Life was fashioned in the way that it was teaching us. And imagine when we talk about delayed gratification, that's self-discipline. Our television time was 4 o'clock. And even that 4 o'clock, you have to see lines. NTA doing lines, waving lines sometimes. That is it. Very many of us walk to school. We walk distance, miles to school. I walked to school for a long time. At some point, sometimes my dad would drive us to school, sometimes we walk to school. But my primary school, I grew up with my grandma. I walked to school all the time till I was in JSS. So before I left my grandma, I walked to school all the time. So it was only when I came back to the city to meet my parents that my dad would drive us. We had a driver at some point who would drive us to school sometimes, and sometimes we still walk to school, depending on if my daddy was rushing or not. A lot of us would walk to school. Then there were so many things we had to do. I remember we had to put buckets in our heads to go get water few houses away. In fact, that was the only excuse we had to come out. So you know that my dad going out was a no. So we just want to go and fetch water. A lot of the things. What about things? You want something now, you just put your yam. There's even a yam pounding system that boils and pounds the yam. But in those days, you want to eat pounded yam, you have to pound, sweat it out. Those were processes. Processes taught us a lot of things. Experience on the road taught us a lot of things. Those things are no longer there now. Life has become so easy. And guess what? Life has become super easy, super fun, exciting. But the irony of it is that our children still need a lot of these skills. These skills that life gave us, so these skills, life gave us opportunity to learn them without our parents even teaching us. Now, our children need these skills. Unfortunately, life is not giving them opportunity to learn these skills. If you, as a parent, don't stand up to give them opportunity to learn these skills, life is not giving them. When we used to wait till 4 o'clock, delay gratification. You quickly do all your chores, do everything. Because your parents may get back from work and meeting you watch television, meeting you watching television, and you have not done anything. It's war. So you need to quickly get done with everything. So nobody taught us self-leadership. You need to lead yourself. Quickly get your chores done. You get back from school, you quickly have to wash your uniform, wash your socks, put them. But now these days, children have 5 uniforms every day. Even when their parents don't intend to buy 5 pairs of uniform for them, the school will provide 5. Yes. In my children's school, they have 5 uniforms. 5. So where is that we learn when we get back from school? We quickly wash our uniform. We don't wait for anybody to tell you. Wash our uniform, we spread them so that by tomorrow they'll be dry. When they are not dry tomorrow, we wear them. We now learn that, when I come back, I'll have to wash quickly. Otherwise, I'll go to school with wet uniform. They're no longer there. Because I remember back in Lagos, my children also had Ankara. They had Ankara, sport wear, t-shirt for Tuesday wear. Then they had the other uniform, two pairs of the main uniform. So the main uniform, they wore the main uniform on Monday and Tuesday. They wore their t-shirt on Wednesday. They wore the sport wear on Thursday and Ankara on Friday. That was it. Even now, the school they are now the same thing. They have a uniform for Monday. They have another one on Thursday. They have another one for Wednesday. The one for Thursday, they have 2 pairs. They have another one the one for Tuesday, they have 2 pairs. They have it, one for Thursday, one for Friday. Tuesday, Thursday, one for sportswear for Friday. So just see, all those small things that we learned. That we learned, they are no longer there. That life taught us. Our children don't have the opportunity to learn it. Anyways, that's by the way. So your child must be teachable because life is growing. I see parents every time, they will tell me, when I was growing up, I washed a lot of clothes. How did he impact me? My children, his washing machine. And they don't even operate the washing machine. They have someone that comes to operate the washing machine. These are teenagers. And then you try to let the children know that life did not impact you. See those many clothes you washed? They are why you are resilient. They are why you are tough. They are why you are able to navigate. You are not a vegetable. They are why you are not a jelly. Those tough things you did, they build you. Because they are not teachable, they will tell you, no. Everybody is buying handset for phone for their 8-year-old. I will buy for my 8-year-old. They don't realize it because they are not teachable. Let's even talk about career, business. So teachability is a major skill our children need to learn. They will need it when it comes to their career because they will need to grow. They will need to be ready to submit. Sometimes the people they see are not people that are not even up to their standard. They'll be ready to submit, to learn. Their homes, they will need to be teachable. I said to my kids that making friends, one of the friends you want to make, one of the characters you look at for in friends is teachability. Someone who is ready to learn and will learn. You are not perfect. The person is not perfect. So if someone is not teachable, then that person should not be in your circle. A non-teachable person should not be in your circle, really. Because you are going to have issues. Because you commit to your own personal growth. You are going to grow. You want to share your knowledge. You also want them to learn on their own and come and sharpen you. Iron sharpeneth iron. So teachability is a skill we must nurture in our children. And one way to nurture this skill is for us not to even be rigid. Many times, many of us parents, we are rigid. We know it all. Our kids are always wrong. We are always right. When you are rigid, when you don't deliberately seek their opinion, sometimes it's not because it's you don't know what to do. It is just because you want to teach them a skill. You ask for their opinion. You let them make their decisions. Making their decisions and learning from their own mistakes. Their mistakes, teaching them. Teachability is one of the skills we need to nurture in our children. I've talked about courage, I've talked about resilience, I've talked about emotional intelligence, I've talked about self-leadership, I've talked about teachability. Now the next one is critical thinking and problem solving. This one comes under self-leadership. When your child is able to lead themselves, they're able to think, they're able to problem solve. I don't know why I didn't merge it. They're able to think, they're able to problem solve when they are able to lead themselves. They're able to see problems in life challenges. Sorry, they're able to see solutions in life challenges. They're able to see that, okay, something is happening. What is the solution? What is the solution? So, critical thinking, it is super important. We nurture critical thinking in them. Problem solving. And like I said, you can't nurture this by sitting them down and telling them. You must learn to wear your thinking cap. You must always think. Like my student back then in Lagos would tell me, Mr. Rebo, I don't have a thinking cap. You know, you are not nurturing this by just sitting down and talking about it. You nurture it by letting them do. By letting them do. Give them responsibilities. Give them chores. Let them make small decisions. Let them make their mistakes. Let them learn from their mistakes. Share people's stories with them. Challenge them. Have them explain something. You are even facing your own personal challenges. Share it with them. Come together. Collaborative problem solving. Collaboratively solve the problem. There's an issue. Everybody comes together to troubleshoot. Critical thinking. They must learn to think for themselves. If they don't think for themselves, something will think for them. Someone will think for them. And what if the person thinking for them is not thinking for them for their own good? What are they going to do? Critical thinking is super important. And the last one is adaptability. Now, this adaptability falls under teachability. Adaptability. Because times are changing. Our children must be adaptable. Anyone who is not teachable is not adaptable. They must be adaptable. They must be flexible. Now, this is why I say to parents that you don't label your children. You notice one thing in your children. The next thing, they are stubborn. They are stubborn. They are rebellious. They are sent from the pit of hell. What if what they are lacking is adaptability? What if what they are lacking is teachability? What if what they need is emotional intelligence? You send your child on an errand, your child has not delivered, you are all over the place, angry. In your anger, you even go and do it yourself. What if your child lacks courage to do that thing? No, be calming down. It is when you calm down that you actually understand your child. Now, it is why in the Visionary Parent Academy, this month has been understanding our children. This month has been understanding our children. And next month is going to be building connection. Building connection. Yes. We want to be able to influence our children. If we must be able to influence our children, we need to build connection with our children. If we want them to understand and uphold our values, we must build connection. If you don't have connection with your child, you cannot influence your child. Some time ago, a relative of mine reached out to me, said I should help her talk to her children. I said, really? Nah. These are children that I don't have a relationship with. You know, I know the funny thing. I've shared this on Facebook. There are so many things you do that sabotage us. We don't realize it. Maybe you have a cousin. Something happened. You go to your house. You are on and on about your cousin. How you talk about, you bring your cousin down to number 0 before your kids, before your family. You bring, or your sibling, can even be your sibling. Siblings do this a lot. Oh, my elder sibling, he's so selfish. He's so self-centered. He doesn't want to help. He doesn't like to help. We talk about all of this. You have rubbished them before your children. And then tomorrow you pick up your phone and say, hello, please, my daughter is stubborn. My son is stubborn. I need you to help me talk to them. My sister, my brother, even if I would have loved to help you talk, I would have loved to talk to your sibling. You have already made it impossible for them to listen to me. You have because even if I was going to have a connection with them, you have killed that connection before I even got a chance to build a connection. So I'm saying this is away from what we are talking about, but I want you to get this as a parent. Because one day you may need that person you are condemning before your children. You may need that person even before your spouse. You may need that person. After condemning that person, then you don't want to run to that person. Nah. Okay, back to our challenge for next month is connection, building connection with our children. We want to build a relationship that leads to influence. Because influence simply means that you are able, your child listens to you, they hear you, they are able to meet your expectations. One of the ways to get your children to behave, to meet your expectations, is if you are able to influence them. Look at it yourself now. If you have people who you don't meet eyeball to eyeball, you don't agree with, and you have someone who is always there for you, who you are kind of cool together, who are you likely going to listen to? I have a friend who, each time she's doing her thing, she will say, oh, my mentor once said, my mentor once said, my mentor once said. It is because the mentor is able to influence her. So she trusts and believes the mentor. So next month, May, it's all about how to build connection with our children in the Visionary Parents Academy. So what you want to do is, you may not be in the Visionary Parents Academy, but you can still have access to the course. It's 1 month. For the entire 1 month, you'll be with us in the academy. You will do you will do everything we do in the academy. You just pay a token, and for the next 1 month, for the whole 1 month of May, you will be with us in the academy. Okay. The last one I was talking about is adaptability. Your children must be able to be adaptable to changes, to environment. They should. It's not just about maybe they travel to other countries or things like that talking about adaptability. No, to systems. Technology is evolving every single day. We must raise children who are able to adapt. When your child is teachable, your child is able to adapt. They are not fixed. They are not rigid. They are flexible. They are not, what am I calling it? Fixed-minded. They have the growth mindset. Nurture these things in your children. Like I said, I mentioned 7 things we should begin to nurture in our children for them to be able to thrive. The first one I mentioned was resilience. Ability to bounce back from situation, ability not to be held back by the events of life, because life is beautiful, life is messy, life is unpredictable, life is exciting, it is fun, it is cruel. A friend of mine once wrote a book called The Wind of Life. You don't know where life will take you to. Life goes here, goes there, comes everywhere. Was it not a couple of months ago there was it not earthquake in the US? Just imagine someone built your house, comfortable, life working well for you, and the next thing, earthquake from nowhere, natural disaster, no cause of man, no cause of yours. Insure your house, everything. Maybe even the insurance company itself. Everything. You put everything in place, and at the end of the day, the devil that coming to kill, to steal, and to destroy comes in. Resilience. It is super important. The next one is emotional intelligence, because our emotions are the foundation of our behaviors. If you don't have a grip of our emotions, if you are not able to manage your emotions, our emotions will manage us. You can be envious of someone. It is emotion. It is super normal. So what do you do with it? You either go and have yourself condemned, or you actually get inspired by that. What do you do with it? Emotional intelligence. Everything will go out. We see people. Someone once said to me, I was living her life. I'm like, are you serious? Me that is not even anywhere close to where I should be. I'm living your life, you know. We feel these things we see people we admire. We see people that we think are living our lives every single day. So what do we do with their emotions? They either consume us or we take them as our strength. You get inspired by them. Oh, these people, they inspire me. I love their life. I love where they are. That is it. Courage. I talked about courage. Fear will always set in. We all want to relax in our comfort zone. We don't want to go beyond that. Fear will always set in. But guess what? Courage will help our children rise up, stand up, and despite fear, because courage doesn't mean you don't have fear. They will have fear. The fear of life will always set in. But courage will help them move on despite that. I talked about self-leadership. Our children need to be able to lead themselves today and lead themselves tomorrow. Especially in a country like Nigeria, where you almost have to create everything for yourselves. I mean, yes. Yes. I was telling my children in church that if your parents don't have companies for you to come and inherit, you better begin to lead yourself. You better begin to work on yourself. You better begin to leave this your complacency zone. Your complacent zone. You better begin to drop this your mindset of survivor. Your survivor mindset. And begin to shift from survivor to adding value, making impact. Because your parents don't have companies for you to come and inherit. So what do you want to do? Thinking of survivor. You end up doing yahoo if you don't move your mindset now from survivor to impact. Yes. Because if you are thinking survivor the way you are thinking it now, you are going to do yahoo. After a survivor. So you need to move your mindset. So self-leadership. Our children need to be able to lead themselves. And I talked about teachability. They need to be able to be teachable. They should be teachable. They should be teachable. In fact, we have something called talk time in the Visionary Parent Academy, where every weekend we take one topic we teach our children. So I think we started about 3 weeks ago. If you join us in the course, in any course we are taking for the month, you are lucky. You will be super lucky because all the materials and everything we are using for that month, you will get them. So this month, the material we shared, one of the materials we shared was Living Your Calling. We shared a couple of materials that will help you in your journey of parenting. In fact, what you pay to join us, the materials we are going to share, one material every week, is way more than what you pay. And you are going to get the explanation, breakdown, everything, action plan. So if you, at the end of the day, you are not getting results, it's because you chose not to get results. You choose not to get results. That's why you don't get results. Because if you choose to get results, you will get results. If you put in the work, you will get results. So maybe this weekend, we're going to talk about teachability. Coach Inado, please remind me so that we work on teachability. So how to raise children who are teachable. It is super important. Children with the growth mindset. Children who are teachable. And the next one was critical thinking and problem solving. We have problems everywhere. Children should be able to provide solutions to the problems we have everywhere. You know, they should be able to provide solutions, because if your child is in Nigeria, for example, where there are no jobs, then they should be able to think of problems they can solve in their immediate community. It is important. And lastly, I talked about adaptability. Our children should be able to be adaptable. Thank you so much for joining. If you have a question, do what to ask in the comment section. I will come back to take the question. Even if I don't come back to take the question, our coaches will come back to take the question. Thank you very much. And this was brought to you by the Visionary Parent Academy. If you want to join us, we are super ready to welcome you. All you need to do is just leave a message in the comment section, or if you have any of our personal numbers, any of the coaches' personal numbers, all my personal number, just send a message that, oh, you want to join us in the Visionary Parent Academy, you want to join us for 2026, or you want to join us for the month alone. Feel free to join us, and we'll be happy to have you. Thank you so much. My name is Enimerebo, and this is Parenting with Enimerebo. See you next Wednesday when we talk about another interesting and empowering topic that borders on parenting. Bye-bye.